Good morning, good night, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Lorenzo Forth. This is the podcast blAk tAlk, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, it is here. I'm back, and today is a little bit different. As you can see, I'm not in my usual at the crib. You know what I'm saying? My normal setup. I'm just say I'm not at the home right now. But this part of my life must continue. You know what I'm saying? I was actually about to have a different place to shoot the podcast, but finances got in the way and stuff like that. I was gonna get a studio / storage or whatever you want to call it in order to keep this going. And I know it's been a hot little minute. I'm aware of that. 2023 has, I'm not gonna say it hasn't been good to me, but it has revealed to me and showed me and made me, just be honest and be real with myself, honestly. So, with that being said, here's my 3 things that 2023 has taught me. Let's get into it. So, one of the first things that I really noticed during 2023 is that I wasn't being honest or true with myself about how I felt about how my life was going, how I interacted with individuals, how individuals interacted with me as well too, and the choices that I was making, the things that I was allowing to happen in my life. I had to stop, trying to pretend to be something that I wasn't, or even speak on me being something that I actually wasn't in my mind. Others may see me and perceive me one way, and it's the way that I want to be perceived, but in all actuality, was I really living in my truth? And during that time, I had to make hard decisions. Had to hurt some feelings as well too, and I had to really just be real myself and take matters into my own hands and really dive in really deep and stop being on autopilot. I'm gonna call it. So with that, I had to make decisions. I had to make hard decisions, and I had to be honest and say things that were really on my mind. Us as men, not just black men, just men in general. We hold a lot of things in. We put up with a lot of things as well too. Why? Because we feel like we're supposed to have this hard exterior. We feel like we're supposed to just deal and put up with certain things in order to make sure that in order to be seen as someone that anybody can depend on. But you got to be real with yourself and honest with yourself when you can't do something. You got to know when to ask for help, or you got to know when to walk away. All right, or power through it. And with me, I feel like for a very long time, I was really just trying to power through it. That was just my attitude and my demeanor towards a lot of things in life. Whether things were going good or bad or whatever, sports, it didn't really matter. And I had to be honest with myself about look, man, if you can't carry the load, then say you can't carry the load. And if you don't have anyone else to help you carry the load, then that means you gotta just drop the load. You gotta drop it, man. And if you're walking around on autopilot, then that means you're not walking in your truth. You're not walking in your purpose. You're not progressing. You're not growing. You're just there pretending and having on a mask. All right. So also, I'm not about to dive completely deep, but I'm just about to give a little scoop, of these 3 lessons that I learned. The next lesson that I learned was to notice that my cup isn't being replenished by others, and I noticed that when I was pouring into others, but they weren't pouring back into me. And from that, my circle had got a lot smaller and whatnot. I got 4 friends I can call on, y'all. 4 of them. That's it. I'm talking about I talk to them on a daily, except for one of them. That one's like a little busy and stuff like that. I can name them out right now. Andrew Lamar Pratt, aka Money Making Pratt. Lex, Big Lex, aka Paige. Mike Hicks, aka Michael Hicks, but you know what I'm saying, that's Big Mike. And Daquan Owens, my nigga. And I can call on them, and they're my small circle that I have that actually, pour back into me when it's needed, honestly. Somebody might pour in more than the other and stuff like that, but in all actuality, it really depends on the relationship that you have with them. But I did have individuals who weren't pouring back into me, and I was always pouring when I didn't have anything to pour. So that means I was overstretching myself, I was reaching for something that was far in advance that I did not have, and with that comes stress. With that comes you become a liability to yourself as well too, and that person becomes a liability as well too, and it becomes a nuisance, and they become someone who's just taking and not giving back at all. And at this point, you're being used. All right. So I had to learn and take out people or things that just weren't pouring back into me. That can be subscriptions as well too. That can be activities that I'm doing. That could be an app, whatever it may be. You got to make sure that everything in your life is an equal exchange. Something is given to you and something is giving back to you, or you're giving to it and it's giving back to you. Whatever it may be, just make sure it's a positive. All right. Some things can negatively, give you feedback or give you negative energy, and you don't need that in your life. We're always here for positivity, good vibes, smiles, happy, joy, and a beautiful experience in life at the end of the day. So always make sure that, whoever you have around you and whatever you have around you is always pouring back into you, just as you are pouring into them. Lesson number 3. That's number 3. Was to trust myself. All right. And that was it's not that it was a hard one, but it's just that when you have other people who are influencing you emotionally or financially and stuff like that, or just in your world, you have to think about them as well too, and take their opinions or ideas into accountability when you're making a decision and whatnot. But honestly, if you feel it in your gut, if nothing at all is bringing you or telling you to do whatever that other person or whatever that thing is that is trying to influence you to do, then don't go with it. All right? Because in my mind, as I've learned this year, when you trust your gut, your gut kind of like whispers a little bit, doesn't it? And honestly, the Holy Spirit whispers a little bit to you too. Like, you hear it, it's faint. And so you had to something is telling me to do this. Something is telling me to go with it. And if you don't listen to it, then you're going to see the consequences. All right? And for a while, I was seeing the consequences of my actions because I was not trusting my gut. I was not listening at all. Instead, I was listening to others, and I was seeing where it was getting me, and it was getting me absolutely nowhere. Whether it was me pouring into somebody or doing something for somebody, and I see the repercussions from it later on down the line, or right there in that instant and whatnot. So really trusting myself was really a real focal point, because for a while I didn't feel like, some people would tell me that I was not listening or I wasn't listening, but it's like, I'm listening, but I hear my own perspective as well too. I can't just fully listen to your perspective and your idea or your decision. I have to have my own as well too. If anything, you're not listening, all right? Because at the end of the day, we're supposed to understand one another. That's good communication right there. Understanding. You understand me, I understand you. Whether we agree or don't agree, at least we can agree to disagree. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm still after this time, or you're still after that time of having that conversation with that individual, or looking at that thing and reading that contract, or seeing or trying to decide on what food, whatever it may be, bro, whatever it may be, trust your gut instinct. All right, if it's telling you don't purchase it, don't purchase it. If something's telling you don't do that for them, don't do that for them. Because at the end of the day, who's going to reap the benefits or deal with the consequences? You are. All right. So those were the 3 things that 2023 has taught me, and what a freaking year it has been, y'all. Oh my goodness. Oh my gracious. God bless me and God bless everyone else in my life and everyone who made it to 2023. All right. Because man, it's supposed to be the Jordan year, right? Well, now it's now it's the Kobe year. All right. Let's see where consistency will get us all with our so-called New Year's resolutions and stuff like that. Well, honestly, should have started stuff way before 2024 even started. All right. I've been on it before 2024 started. So I don't have any New Year's resolution. I'm just trying to see where my consistency with everything I'm doing will actually get me. All right, because that's what I'm most intrigued about, and that's what I'm most ready for. I'm not ready for. I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm not ready for or looking forward to, but I'm not saying a dumb New Year's resolution. I'm gonna make more money. I'm gonna be a better person. I'm gonna focus on myself. I'm gonna listen to that. No, I'm just trying to see what my freaking consistency will get me with being the person that I should be, and that's it. All right. So the 3 lessons that it taught me, 2023. I thank it for all the lessons learned, all the trials and tribulations, the hurdles I had to get over, the obstacles, the people, the bad people, the good people, the new friends, the old friends, the things I left behind, the things that I'm keeping in my life. Everything that 2023 has brought, I thank it and I love it. All right. Because if you can't thank your past, if you can't look behind you and shake hands with your past, then how are you supposed to move forward? How are you supposed to make your present really matter? You know, how is the past supposed to help you now? If you're saying fuck the past, if you're saying like, man, I went through a lot, man, fuck all that shit, whatever I went through, the people, whoever, and whatever, you know, how are you supposed to move forward and learn if you can't turn around and pull from the past as well or too, in order to help you out with moving forward, you know? So, 2023, with the 3 lessons that I learned, I'm gonna try this again. Make sure your cup is being filled, all right? Make sure you're keeping an eye up on it. And make sure that somebody else is filling it back up just as you're filling up their cup. Make sure it's an equal exchange, all right? Secondly, oh, man, what were all? Man. Secondly, trust yourself, all right? Trust your intuition, trust your gut first, okay? Unless something or somebody moves you in some type of way with their persuasion or with what they need you to understand, stick with what you know, all right? Trust your freaking gut, aka the Holy Spirit, because it whispers, all right? So you got to listen very, very closely. And lastly, ladies and gentlemen, we're all getting older, you know, we're all making decisions, and these decisions are altering our lives and changing them, all right? So throughout this whole thing, if you're not looking at yourself to see how far you've come, how much you've changed, or how much you've grown, then that means you're not being real with yourself. Being real with yourself is knowing like, man, I'm 5'4". I'm gonna make it to the league. You ain't being real with yourself, bro. You're not being real with yourself. All right, if you got cut from the team and all that, you're not being real with yourself. All right, you need to change that mindset. You'll be better off running track and field, honestly. All right, you're not being real with yourself if you're like, man, I love this girl. We a perfect match. And there's freaking domestic violence, or if you're cheating on a freaking daily, bro. Be real with yourself, bro. You can't be with that individual. You're not ready for a relationship either. You need some help and you need to go to freaking counseling or something like that. All right? So hopefully this year you're being real with yourself in these things that I've just mentioned, these 3 things, all right? Make sure your cup is being filled. Be real with yourself. And dang it, man, I can't forget. Be real with yourself and just remember these 3 things, y'all. Be real with yourself. Make sure that somebody's filling up your cup, and trust yourself. All right, before you trust anything, trust yourself. All right, because 2024, it's not just another year. It's not. It is the year that's right in front of you. All right. But as always, y'all remember to be blessed, stay blessed, do your best, never settle for less. God is love, and of course, dang, I'm so tired right now. But y'all remember to be blessed, stay blessed, do your best, never settle for less. God is love, never stress, and of course, y'all know the rest. Have a beautiful, wonderful, prosperous 2024, y'all. Peace out.